G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. This is the second part of the introduction to the melodic style on the banjo, the 5-string. In the first part we covered the basic positions for the G scale. We're in standard G tuning, we're really focusing there. A lot of tunes are played in that tuning. And then we covered some exercises and we looked at a really nice simple tune, Boulevard, which was this one. Which is a really pretty melody, and then we really built on the techniques, the fundamental techniques we need for this melodic style of playing. Now, this second part of the lesson is going to build on that, so we're going to take it up a notch and we're going to have a look at some more advanced exercises and scales, and then we're going to have a look at this particular tune by the name of the Rakes of Kildare. There's a bit of an idea of that tune there, and it's much quicker. The techniques are much more advanced, so we need to work on some exercises and start to look at what we're doing there, but we're still playing in a melodic style with a little bit of single string as required down, particularly in this position here, or if the melody really needs it, depending on what the melody is doing. But we're still in the G scale for that tune. It's just in a mode. It's in the A dorian mode, so it's a minor mode using the G major scale notes. We'll get to that later on. Here in this video, we're going to start out with an exercise that takes us beyond the scales we learned in the first part of this little series. We're going to look at the G major scale over 3 positions. So we've covered this open position and first kind of octave there in the middle of the open G. We're starting down as low as our banjo will allow us on that open D, E, F sharp and G into our melodic position here, and that's as far as we've got our scale, but now we're going to take it as far up as the D octave. So we're kind of playing a mixolydian scale, and we're going to get this up to the D position. So we're going to cover 3 positions because there's an awful lot of melodies that require us to get into this position here. So as an exercise and an introduction to that, we're going to learn this scale right now. So have a look at these notes. We'll talk about the techniques in a moment, but here is the full scale up and down. And if you like, you can resolve to the G, just to make it sound resolved, but it doesn't need to be played like that. It's really just an exercise. It's all our scale notes from D to D that we find in the key of G major. So really it is a D mixolydian scale, but it's just all the G major scale notes. And they just happen to be laid out more conveniently that way on the banjo, open D up to the 12th fret. Get to know that scale. There's a bit of single string there because we need to kick it off on those 3 notes, D, E, F sharp. So thumb, index to the open G. That's really important. Then into the melodic picking. So thumb, finger, thumb, finger, thumb, finger, thumb. Now this is new. We're going to jump across straight up to this position here. Notice my fingers, second and first fingers, that's the E, that's the F sharp. I'm going to move them now to 10 and 9, and that is the A and the B. We're going to capture the C with our thumb and then the D with the pinky. So as we change position, we've played the E, the F sharp, the open G, the A, the B, the C, the D. There's our hand position. Now, we don't always use those notes in melodies, like they do pop up, but you certainly cover that position an awful lot. That comes in there quite a bit, up to that B and the A position there. I find that is really, really regular in a melodic tune. Of course, depends on the melody and what you're playing though. Getting familiar with it is important and it will really help. As we run our way through that last part of this new variation of the scale, we're gonna just roll essentially. So index, middle, thumb, middle, then backwards, thumb, middle, index, thumb. Open string is the transition point. The transitions are really important. As soon as I play that open string, I'm going to shift. So as I play it, I shift. I'll just play it slowly and watch how I do that. Open string, open string. So notice those open strings. I use the open string as my position change for the left hand. That's really important. So spend some time with this particular scale here. So we're looking at that G major scale, but just starting on an open D, up 2 octaves to this D at fret 12, which really is the D mixolydian scale. It's a modal scale, but it's just using the series of notes in G from D to D. And the techniques that go with that scale are really important. So do make sure you're working through that and get comfortable with the scale notes. The better you know them, the better you know where they are, the better you can handle those position changes, the easier it's going to be when you hit a tune and you require that. Later on in the next part of this video, we're going to actually break down some position change exercises and work on some different techniques that we need to be able to really do that fluently. Before we move on though, I would like to just introduce another mode. This one is the Dorian mode, and again, it's still the G major scale, but the Dorian mode starts from the second note. So in this case, we'll start from the A. And the reason for this is purely because the tune, the Rakes of Kildare, is in the A Dorian mode. So it sort of has an A minor feel, but it's the Dorian mode. So it's using the G major scale notes as opposed to the A minor natural minor scale notes. So here is the sound of the A Dorian minor. So there's a minor flavour to it, of course. There's a minor third in there with the C, but the F sharp is not natural to the A minor scale. So same scale notes as G major, but A is the root note. And that's what's going to happen in that tune, the Rakes of Kildare. We won't get too much into modes, but we've already covered 2 of them in this lesson, mixolydian and Dorian. I'm sure you can find some more info about them if you do a bit of research. So that was the Dorian mode. One thing I wanted to point out about this scale was actually what I did there at the end. So holding this position for the E, the F sharp, I play the open G, but this time I'm playing A there with my pinky. So again, that's another common way of going about this. So being comfortable with that is important. Otherwise, it's same techniques. Just watch those fingers there, but really that's just building on what we've already been working on. So that was the Dorian minor, A Dorian minor. Okay, so now if you head over to pickandlessons.com, we're going to continue here and work through some exercises for our position changes and also a little bit of a 6/8 exercise too, because the Rakes of Kildare is in 6/8. It's a jig, so we'll just talk about that time signature as well. But we'll continue on this melodic path and working on some of the fundamental techniques up a notch now from what we started with. And then we'll break down that tune, the Rakes of Kildare, which is really going to apply these positions, open, this 4th, 5th fret, and also up the neck there. So we're going to be doing a lot of that, and we'll do all that there in the member section. So pickandlessons.com, I'll see you there.